What's good, everybody? It's your boy Jalen Wilson. And we back with R1P Weekly. Now this R1P Weekly is kind of different. We normally don't do this on YouTube, but we gotta do this on YouTube. Today, we got Moon Vibes in the building right next to me. Say what's up, Moon.
What's up, y'all? How y'all feeling today? Happy New Year.
We got KT in the building below him. Say what's up, KT.
Circle the wagons.
And we got the Steelers fan Brad in the building. What's good, Brad? Say what's up.
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. So usually we do rapid fire questions, but this is just a rapid fire question, and everybody, I want y'all to take y'all time with this question. Y'all can have as much time as y'all want to explain. Brad, I want to ask you this question first, and I'm gonna ask it this way. So how do you think, like on a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give the NFL on how they handle COVID this season? Well, hold on, not no. I ain't just talking about the NFL. I'm talking about the players, the GMs, uh, people that work for the NFL. Like. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how do you think they handle it this season? Uh,
Are negatives an option? Uh,
yeah, it is. I guess.
Negative 1,000. They did not do good at all with controlling it. A lot of the players were just out and about, sadly not doing what they were supposed to do, and not. The NFL just kept changing dates on how many days these players had to wait, and they didn't really have a certain amount of time that they were, and they said that they were going to, but they just never did. And some players got shorter time, some people got longer times. They didn't really.
And I can't disagree with you on that. I would agree with you with that, with what you just said. Move vibes, go.
Can you repeat the question for me, bro?
All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, or negative 1,000 to positive 10,
Okay.
rate how the NFL players, owners, GMs, or even just people that work for the NFL handle COVID this season.
I give it since the NBA is a 10, I have to give it below a 10. And give it probably like a 8.5. 8 point,
Hmm.
yeah, 8.5. Mainly just because they accomplished their goal. Um, I know the league is the not for long league, but coming into the season, everybody knew that the NFL, being the business that it is, in popularity, ticket sales, they were going to take a hit as far as fans not being there. I knew they were going to take a hit as far as COVID. We all didn't really know what their strategy was going to be as far as like how they were going to handle COVID. Each team had their own dilemmas with COVID over the season. I think they're making changes to things like the practice squad, how many players can come with you to
Hmm.
the coaches. Some coaches have not being able to coach the game, the protocols on the sidelines, finding teams for not following the protocols, like John Gruden, for example, and the Raiders. Um, if you look at how everything happened, and they did have outbreaks. They did have outbreaks happen, pop up a couple of different times. It seemed to be inevitable, though. You can't really change the fact that it's going to be an outbreak. It was going to happen at some point, but could
Yeah.
they control it? Yeah. And when I think about like the teams that it could have affected deeper than the teams that had the actual outbreak on their squad, one of those teams is like the Steelers, for example, who had their games pushed back, even playing like to a Tuesday. When I look at all of that, the way they flexed their schedule, the way they were still able to um, get their message across as far as like social justice and things of that nature, racial inequality, and putting that into the forefront, deeper than COVID. Like all of that played a factor into this season. And uh, if I have to give them a grade, I would say 8.5, just because they accomplished their goal of having 256 games this season without canceling. And
Uh-huh.
even though they did have tests, that's why I can't put them up against the NBA, who was the A plus echelon, for not having a single test. I mean, a single
Yeah.
positive test while they were in the bubble. So yeah, I give them 8.5.
Yeah, it was probably definitely better than how the MLB handled it.
Yeah,
Handled it.
sure.
Also, I want to say this. So, do you give the players an 8.5, or would you grade them just like if we just did them separate? Would you
I
give
did
them an
that.
8.5?
I did that grade as far as everybody as a whole. But the
Uh huh.
players, if I take them out individually, um, due to everything that they had to deal with, um, I say like a. It's hard because then I'll have to go like team by team
Yeah.
because each some teams didn't take that protocol as serious as others. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to call no names, but it got to go team to team. So if I had to give it on players, I give them maybe a 9. And I know it's not NBA because it's a 10, but I give it a 9 just based on they traveling. It wasn't in a bubble. They're traveling from city to city and everything. So at the most, if you can't, you're already gonna have cases already. Can you limit it to? Can you limit the margin of it? Can you limit the spread? Yeah, and I think the majority, if you look at the whole league, I feel like the majority of the league, players wise, seem to be in positions where they follow the protocol and didn't put their teams in too much jeopardy. If you look at that outbreak that happened in the Ravens, that wasn't really from a players. That was from their one of their offensive coordinators or something, one of their
Hmm.
position coaches. Like so, um, I would give them a 9.
Yeah. It was a couple teams that had outbreaks, but I kind of get what you were saying with like it wasn't like the NBA to where they didn't it was like everybody from the outside world can touch them still.
Exactly. They're still traveling. They're still boarding planes. They're still in their facilities. Some even when you factor in them closing down the facilities on numerous occasions this year, or doing remote in like what the students are dealing with, like remote learning or remote work on the job, work from home. They handle it, I think, as best as they could. But the difference between them and the NBA is it seems like the NBA had a clear cut vision and a clear cut plan of how it was going to work out. The NFL is kind of like, we're going to do it by any means necessary, but we're going to play off 256.
Yeah. KT, do you need me to react to question or?
No, not at all. So if we're gonna look at this with anything, you need measurables. All right. So if the measurables are how well the NBA handled theirs, being a 10, and how poorly the MLB did theirs, being a 1, you will have to say the NFL is somewhere in the middle, because yes, they were able to complete their season, and honestly, the 3 hours, sometimes 9 hours, just depend if I work or how much football I get to watch on a Sunday. During those times is the only time it feels remotely normal. I'm not even
Mhm.
paying attention to the fact that fans aren't in the stands. It's something that we've all grown up with. It's something we all have a sport we all have played at one time or another on at different levels. So that's the only time anything felt remotely normal is watching football. Now in the NBA, they don't have as many players, don't even have as many personnel, so it's a lot easier to do a bubble. But even with them not doing a bubble, I think they're still going to handle things a lot better than the NFL. I feel like with the NFL, it wasn't really the way they were handling things. I don't believe you have to wait 2 weeks per the CDC. I think
It's 10 days.
it's 10 days, and I guess the NFL knows something the CDC doesn't. Um, but I felt like as a whole, NFL did a pretty decent job. But there are some organizations who did terrible jobs. The Vegas Raiders, absolutely terrible. The Tennessee Titans got it together, but earlier in the year, the Tennessee Titans, terrible job. So I said the Vegas Raiders, Tennessee Titans, and the Baltimore Ravens. Like the Baltimore Ravens, oh my goodness. Like, is it more on the organization? Is it more on the players? Is it more on the personnel? They all should get a collective L. Pittsburgh, and yes, I gave Big Ben a hard time earlier in the season, but they had to adjust a lot to playing games. Like, Brad, correct me if I'm wrong. How many games did they play in 11 days? Didn't they play like 3 games in 11 days?
Yeah.
Something like that. That that is crazy. But as Moon stated, they did complete the season. So at the end of the day, it's a W. But if the measurables are MLB and the NBA, far better than the MLB, but not quite what the NBA is, even post bubble. So I would say about a 6.
Yeah, I would I kind of agree with you like the 6. And I've been saying that for a long time that the NFL isn't going to be able to do a bubble because too many players, too many personnel, coaches, everything, equipment. So I would give it about a 6 to what they had to deal with. I might go even lower to like a 3, 3.54.
Why is that?
But is that all everybody got to say about this question?
Yeah, I thought that was a great question though.
Mo, that's all.
I want to know why you give him a 3.5. Like, is my rating just too high? I guess my rating is based on just the fact that they said they were going to play every single game this year, and we laughed at their face and be like, "Bro, you're not about to play every game this year," and they made it happen. Like, they made it happen, and regardless of if teams handled it poorly, it's not like they just let them go off the hook. They find those teams heavily. So, that's what I'll say.
Well,
that's my last thing I'll say about that.
Well, I gave it 3.5 just because I feel like players didn't handle it good and coaches didn't handle it good. For real. Because some coaches gave it to players, some players gave it to coaches.
My real rating would probably be like a 2. Like just a 2.
They did complete it. So in one way, I have to agree with Moon, but in another way, you see instances like Dwayne Haskins, who should have used his better judgment. So like the players weren't disciplined, bro, and it's like we don't see it in the NBA because we've seen it with James Harden, but the harshers, I mean the fines were a lot more harsh. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, Brad, you got anything else to add on from the question?
Nope.
So y'all want to get to the next segment?
Let's do it.
Okay, the next segment is playoff predictions and brackets. And the first person going is KT.
Hey, let's do it. So this is my personal. You can call right now. Just call me KT Lenardi. This is Leverett KT's playoff bracketology. So we're going to get into the different matchups. I'm going to tell you what I think about each individual matchup and why I chose the team I chose. So we're going to start with the AFC, then we work our way to the NFC. So first seed is the Kansas City Chiefs. They deserve that first seed, even though I thought probably the last 4 or 5 weeks they kind of played down to their competition. But at the end of the day, if there's 55 seconds left on the clock, you don't want anybody but number 15 at your quarterback. The best matchup I think of any of the brackets is that 4-5 matchup in the AFC with the Tennessee Titans and the Baltimore Ravens. I look at this as the revenge game from last season. You remember Lamar Jackson and Action Jackson, a.k.a. Big Truz, was the NFL darling last year. He got league MVP last year. And then the Titans came in and they smacked them in their mouth, and they went for it. The Ravens just wasn't really ready for that. I feel like this year, you got the great meme with the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. It will be revenge for the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. They are hot. I mean, red hot right now. Up next, we got Steelers and Browns. I really love this game as well. Anytime a team has to play each other 3 times, the familiarity gets scary. And it doesn't mean that necessarily that the best team will win. It's just that you've played each other so much. I don't like what I've seen out of Big Ben this year at all. He did make some great throws in the fourth quarter against the Indianapolis Colts. But give me the Browns. So I got the Browns advancing in that game, which will be a 6-1 matchup versus the Chiefs in the next round. And then in a previous game, I got the Titans, Ravens, and I got the Ravens in that one. Bills, Colts. Nobody circles the wagons like the Bills. You already know who I got. Bills. Boom, we're done with the wild card in the AFC. We're going to go to the wild card in the NFC, and then we'll come back to the AFC. So Packers, first seed, automatic push. They get that bye week. The 4-5 game, we got the NFC East, or if you want to put an L in front of East and make it least, versus the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We were discussing something earlier in pre-production, and Mo Vibes was saying that he thinks that WFT, the Washington football team, will provide an interesting matchup with the Buccaneers because their ability to rush four, and they can get pressure with four. I think they got the best run four in the NFL. So whether it's the Giants or the WFT, I think WFT will provide a better game for the Buccaneers, but still giving me the Bucs. So I'm taking the Bucs that game. All right, we move it down to that 3-6 game. We got the Seattle Seahawks versus the LA Rams. That's going to be a tough game. Like I said, it's another one game, just like the other 3-6 matchup, ironically, in the AFC, with the Seahawks facing the Rams for a third time this year. This was a tough call. It's kind of a flip a coin type of call, but I'm going with the Seattle Seahawks. Saints, Bears, I believe per NFL protocol, from what our host Jalen was telling me, is that Alvin Kamara can't play next week. That will definitely make things interesting, but I think quarterback play inside of this dome will be the difference in that game. So give me the Saints. So for the NFC divisional round, we got Packers, Bucks, we got Saints, Seahawks. We're going to go back to the divisional round for the AFC. So we got one Chiefs versus the Browns. I don't like this matchup for the Chiefs. I think if there's a team for the Chiefs to try to avoid, it's the Browns. They are so balanced offensively. They spell Hunt. You already know what Chubb going to do to you. I think they're getting healthier at the wide receiver position. I don't know. You see a game, I feel like every playoffs, you like, some playoffs you do get 1 versus 1. It doesn't happen as often, but, every now and then you'll get a 6 seed that'll make a run. The Steelers have done it before. The Giants have done it before. Give me the Browns. I know everybody's going to rip my head off for saying that, but give me the Browns. Bills, Ravens. This matchup does happen. I think it'll be the best overall matchup of the playoffs. This is another flip a coin game. We played the Ravens last year. I felt like the Bills did really well against the Ravens. But at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson made more plays than Josh Allen. But Josh MVP Allen this year is a whole new guy. Yes, I'm saying it again. Yes, Jalen's rolling his eyes in the green room. But we don't care. Josh MVP Allen will make more plays than Lamar Big Trust Jackson. Give me the Bills. So that leads in the AFC Championship games, Brown versus Bills. We're going to come back to this AFC Championship game. We're going to go back to the NFC Divisional Round. NFC Divisional Round, we got the Packers, Bucks versus the Seahawks and the Saints. We're going to start with the Packers and the Bucks. I'm the type of person, I believe what my eyes see, bro. I believe none of what I hear, half of what I see. And what I seen, the Bucks, Packers, I forgot what week that was this year. The Bucks put hands and feet on them. It was ugly. Give me the Bucks. I don't care if it's in Lambeau. Give me the Bucks. I'm waiting for Moon to roll his eyes. Go and roll your eyes, Moon. Give me the Bucks. Seahawks, Saints. Give me the Saints. In a dome. Jalen alluded to something earlier in pre-production. He didn't feel like the Seahawks were playing really good offensively down the stretch. I agree with him. Give me the Saints. So, conference championship round, we got Browns versus Bills in the AFC. In the NFC, we got Bucks versus the Saints. That Bucks-Saints matchup. Saints have placed hands and feet on the Bucks twice. Mike Evans, Michael Evans from Good Times. That's who he is during those games. He's not 6'5". He about 5'1.5". Because Marshawn Lattimore, for some reason, he just locks him up. But they got a guy that used to play for Pittsburgh. I don't remember his name. Said he had CT. Antonio Brown. He will be the difference that game. Give me the Bucks in the Super Bowl. Browns, Bills. Circle the wagons. I got the Buffalo Bills. So we got Bills, Bucks, Super Bowl. Let me set the stage for y'all. Tom Brady has beaten up on the Bills for years. First time the Bills has swept the Patriots in forever, and the reason why it's been forever is because of Tom Brady. The last time we beat him, Tom Brady wasn't the quarterback. Even Jimmy G wasn't the quarterback. It was Jacoby Brissett who was the quarterback the last time the Bills beat the Patriots prior to this year. Bills fans, hey, we cried together in 2018 with Red Rover. Andy Dalton made that pass and he sent us to the playoffs. We're going to cry together this year. Buffalo Bills, guess what? Not only you're going to the Super Bowl, you're going to get your first Super Bowl. As they're laughing at me in the green room, Buffalo Bills will win Super Bowl LV. I'm sending it. I'm sending it to my boy Jay.
So for my wild card round, I got the Titans beating the Ravens. In the matchup again, I think that the Titans defense isn't as good as last year, of course, but I still think that the Titans are is kind of hitting a stride. As they just won against the Texans. Now the defense can get a lot better. It can get a lot better. Uh, but I just think that the Titans will pull out. If it's a shootout, I think the Titans will win. Not saying the Ravens are a bad team. I just don't think the Ravens will beat the Titans in a rematch. Now we got Steelers versus Browns. Now I chose the Browns in this game just because, like KT said, he said he thinks the Chiefs are the most balanced offense in the NFL right now. I have to agree with him. By the way, I'm a Nick Chubb fanboy, I guess. Now a big fan of Baker Mayfield. Now I do think that if it's any way the Browns are gonna lose this game, it's because of the defense. But I just think the defense is gonna step up just a little bit, enough for them to pull out against the Steelers. And I think Big Ben maybe throws a pick six or two picks, whatever, and ends up losing the Steelers the game. I got Bill versus Colts, and I got the Bills winning in that matchup for the last wild card game in the AFC. Uh, Not much I want to say about this game. I want to say the Bills are just the better team, and I don't like Philip Rivers. Now for the divisional round, I got Chiefs versus Browns. With the Chiefs, now, see, they can take advantage of the Browns with the Browns' terrible offense, but I don't think they're going to. They can, but they won't. I do think the Browns' offense is gonna off defense is gonna step up. And I do think that Nick Chubb will go off that game. I think Nick Chubb might be top top. He might be a top three running back in the NFL. And not to mention even Kareem Hunt. I forgot about Kareem Hunt. Uh, they're that's two-headed monster running back. I think they can take advantage of the Chiefs. And then Baker will have his weapons back by then. He'll have Jarvis back. Uh, so I do think that the Browns will pull that out. Then you got Bill versus Titans. Now Casey don't like this matchup really. I don't. Well, at least I don't think he do. But if it's one team I think he wants to face, it's the Titans. But I think the early in the season Titans beat the Bills, but I do think the Bills are good at adjusting, sorry, and they're gonna beat the Titans. I think the Bills will outscore them. The Titans they're going to try to run heavy. It's not going to work out. Ron Tannehill isn't going to be able to pass the ball. Bills shut that down quick. I got the Bills winning that. Then for my conference championship, I got Bill versus Browns. Now, this is going to be the game where what KT's been saying all year, that Stephon Diggs is the best wide receiver. This will be the game he needs to show it. Because like I said, I've been saying this whole time, the Browns defense is suspect. And I think Stephon Diggs will exploit the mess out of the defense. I think that the Bill defense will have its best game of the playoffs against the Browns, and they will stop Baker. They will stop Nick Chubb. They will stop Kareem Hunt. They will stop everything offense. The Brown might score 10 points that whole game. Now I'll move on to. So I got the Bills in the Super Bowl. Now I'll move on to the NFC bracket, wild card bracket. First, we got. I think it's going to be the Giants. The Giants game isn't finished yet, so I think it's going to be the Giants because I don't think that the football team is going to hold out. I got the Bucks winning that matchup. There's not much I need to say about it. I think that the Bucks wide receiving core is unfair, so I got them winning, and the defense is incredible. If you ask me, as long as they run the ball, Ronald Jones, like I've been preaching. Then for the then for the next matchup after that, we got Seahawks versus Rams. Seahawks versus Rams. I got the Seahawks winning that. Jared Goff most likely isn't going to be back. Sean McVay hasn't came out and said nothing that he's not going to be back, but he said he's not sure whether he'll be back next week. So that lets me know that the Seahawks are going to win because the Rams will have a backup quarterback in. I saying you can't win with a backup, but I just don't think that they're going to beat the Seahawks with a backup quarterback. Now for next game, we got Saints versus Bears. Uh, for some reason, everybody think I'm a Bears fan. I'm not. I'm just a David Montgomery fanboy too. Because everybody saying he was trash last year. He underwhelming. He wasn't. Man, Nagy just wasn't running the ball with him. Uh, I don't think Alvin Kamara will be playing this game based off the 10-day rule that the NFL has, and when he tested positive, because it will only be, I believe, 8 days since he's tested positive. So that would mean he's not able to be back. So I got the Bears winning that. I got the Bears. Early in the season, the Saints ran the ball well. They're not going to be able to do that. Alvin Kamara, Drew Brees, I think is going to struggle, and he's going to retire after this game. So I got the Bears versus Seahawks, and one of my divisional rounds. I got the Seahawks winning this. I think the Bears defense is good, but they have let up a lot of points these past couple weeks. They're not as good as the season start. They have been dealing with a lot of injuries sometimes. I do think the Seahawks will exploit that. I think they can't handle. Well, not that. I'm talking as in I'm talking about the Bears secondary. They want to be able to handle DK and Tyler Lockett. So give me the Seahawks in that matchup. Then that leads us to the Packers versus Bucks in the other divisional round. Uh, give me the Packers. Now, lots will say, "Oh, the Bucks beat them early in the season." Now, A-Rod had a bad game. Not saying he can't have another bad game. I just think that it will benefit the Packers that they done had the week off, and they can game plan for the Bucks. So I think they're going to run the ball well that game. I think they're going to pass the ball well that game. I think Devontae is going to go off. So give me the Packers and that game. Then that leads us to the conference championship, Packers Seahawks, which is a rematch of last year's divisional round matchup between the two. Uh, Now this can be tricky. I think the Seahawks defense has gotten better. I still think they need a lot of improvement. I think the Packers defense is they don't need a lot of improvement, but they need some type of improvement. But I think they're going to get that improvement in the playoffs. They're going to step up. They're going to force Russell Wilson to throw bad passes. They might pick him off once or twice. I think Aaron Jones. This is going to be a great game from Aaron Jones, and I think the Packers are going to win. That leads us to the Packers versus Bills in the Super Bowl. Now, KT might be like, well, of course you're not gonna choose the Bills because the Bills are in the AFC East. Well, yeah, I'm not choosing the Bills. You're right. I think the Packers are gonna win. Now, by how much, I don't know. I just think the Packers defense will step up more than the Bills defense. So give me the Packers in the Super Bowl, and that's my playoff bracket. That will take us on to Brad's playoff bracket and predictions.
What's going on, everybody? It's LL Cool Brad. So my bracket, what I have is for the wild card. I have the Titans versus Ravens, the Steelers versus Browns, and the Bills versus Colts. In the divisional, I have the Chiefs and the Titans, the Bills versus the Steelers. In the conference championship, I have the Chiefs versus the Bills, and then for the NFC, I have the Packers. Well, I don't know, they're the top seed. I have whoever wins tonight, which I think is going to be Washington against the Bucks, the Seahawks versus the Rams, the Saints versus the Bears, and then in the divisional, I have the Packers versus the Bucks. Sorry, the Bucks. And then the Rams versus the Saints. In the conference championship, I have the Packers versus the Rams. The Super Bowl, I have the Chiefs versus the Rams. So why I think that the Titans are going to beat the Ravens, I just think that Derrick Henry's just going to run all over them like they did last year. I just don't think they're going to stop them. I feel like the Titans aren't going to run the ball as much as they did last year, the last time that they played them. I think they're going to pass a little bit more and try to change it up a little bit. But I still got them winning this game. I feel it's going to be a little bit of a closer game than people think. But I still got to be in at least a score, or maybe like 10-point game. I got the Titans. And then I got the Steelers versus the Browns. I think the Steelers played really well today against the Browns, which with a lot of backups in too, which is surprising with Mason Rudolph in and having a lot of their starters out. So I like that. It was only a 2 point game at the end. However, the Browns won. The one thing that the Browns have that we don't have probably is play calling and the run game. Um, and I feel like that's going to be a really hard thing that we're going to have to fight when we're playing them in that wild card round. But I do feel like that our defense can step up this game and win that. Because if we can stop the run game, I don't think that they can do much else because their passing game is 24th in the NFL, which is not good at all. So I really think we just got to stop the run game, and that's what I got for that. The Steelers versus Browns. Well, for the Bills versus the Colts, I don't really have much for that because I just know that the Bills are gonna win that. I don't have much faith in the Colts. The Colts were struggling a little bit with the Jags today. Um, they got a 14-point win, but they were still struggling with them a little bit. So I just don't see them even having a shot. So I got Bills for that. For the Chiefs versus the Titans, this one's going to be a good game, but it's ultimately going to come down to if the Titans can lock up Tyreek Hill and Kelsey, which I say no to. That's just a huge part of the Chiefs offense, and it always has been, and it always will be as long as they're playing in the league and on the Chiefs. It's just a huge part of their team, and I feel like if the Titans can lock that down, they can win. But I got the Chiefs anyways. I feel like this is going to be a longer scoring game. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game, but I feel like it's going to be a two-score game, and I feel like it's going to be 14, a 14-point game. And I got the Chiefs because the Titans weren't able to lock up Kelsey or Tyreek Hill. And then I got the Bills versus the Steelers. This is a matchup. This is a rematchup from earlier in the season, week 13, I believe. I had to mix a lot of cayenne pepper together and drink that. It was not good, man. It was not good. But anyways, sadly, I'm gonna say that the Bills are gonna win this. Even though I don't want to, because I'm a Steelers fan. But the Steelers just they don't have the play calling this year. Like it hasn't been there the last couple of years, but this year it just hasn't been there at all. Our run game hasn't been there at all. If we couldn't beat them already, I don't think we're gonna beat them again. To be honest with you, so I just got the Bills on that one. Um, I just say that we don't lock up their wide receivers because their wide receivers, they're probably got one of the best trios of wide receivers or classes right now, except for maybe like the Chiefs, or maybe the Seahawks, but they're doing really really good with that. But and then I got Chiefs versus the Bills. In this game is going to be one of the best games that we've seen all season. I think. Um, I feel like people are gonna think that this is gonna be a higher scoring game, but I don't think it's going to be actually. I think it's gonna be a lower scoring game. I say that the both teams don't score over 35. Both teams like combined don't score 35 points in total. I feel like it's gonna be a really really low scoring game because both teams will be able to stop what they're both trying to run. Um, Chiefs are pretty good at pass defense, so that's why I think that. Because a lot of the Bills' offense is the pass game with Josh Allen. He can run too, so I mean that's just a plus. But I have the Chiefs in that one anyways. It's gonna be a really really close game though, I think, and a really really low scoring game. And then in the Super Bowl for the AFC side, I have the Chiefs. So going over to the NFC side, I have whoever win. I have the Washington football team winning tonight against the Eagles. So Washington versus Bucks. I got the Bucks because I feel like Washington's pass defense is not good. It's top, sorry, last 20 in the league. I think it's not that good that from what I've seen this year, and just by the stats. So I don't think that they're going to be able to stop the pass game from the Bucks this game. And in yet again, their defense, Washington's defense just carries them out. Like they just do. Both of their rushing and their passing are 20th or worse in the league, which is just not good at all. They don't have a good offense. So I think that's primarily why the Bucks won that game. But the Seahawks versus the Rams, this game, I feel like people are sleeping on the Rams a lot this year. I feel like they're the most underrated and one of the most complete teams in the NFL. Both all their offense is top 10 in the league. Their defense is top, I believe, 15 in the league or top 20 in the league, which I mean isn't the worst, but it's not last. So, um, but I just feel like they're gonna be able to get pressure on Russell, and that's gonna cause some key turnovers in that game, and that's why I think the Rams win that game. And then the Saints versus the Bears, I got the Saints in that game. If the Saints are playing like they have been in these last few weeks, I think they shouldn't be able to lose this game. We saw the night. Yeah, I know the Packers are way better than the Saints, but I just feel like if the Bears aren't gonna lose by that much to the Packers, I don't think that they're gonna win against the Saints. I think it's gonna be a closer game though, one score game primarily. I just feel like the Bears just don't get the run game going as much as they would like to, and it doesn't go that way. And then they don't have the best. They don't have like a stable quarterback in Mitch Trubisky. Sorry, I said that wrong. Mitch. I'm gonna just call him Mitch T because I don't know how to say it correctly. But they don't have a strong belief in him. I don't think. So I just don't see them. I just see them coming up short with a one score. So and then we got the Packers versus the Bucks. This game, I just think it's going to be a complete blowout. I think it's going to be at least a 2-3 score game, at least like more than 17-point game. I think. I got the Packers. Why I got the Packers is because they got a really dynamic duo like with Aaron Rodgers. They got Aaron Jones. They got Devontae Adams. They got some good wide receivers. Their defense is really good as well. And if you even just try and take away the passing game, which I don't think you will, like even if you take away Aaron Jones, if you hold him under 100 yards that game, I still think that they're gonna win that game because both of those are really really good things and they work for them really really well. Both of those rushing and passing. Like if you only take away one of them, they're gonna find other ways to score off of that other way, you know. So I just think primarily the Bucks don't get it done on defense. I think the Bucks defense needs some work in progress. But I don't think that the Bucks are ready yet. So I got the Packers in that one. And then we got the Rams versus the Saints. This game's gonna be a good matchup as well. Um, I I believe that the Rams are gonna win this one, and why I do is because I think the Saints, like I think it's gonna be the Saints just sometimes like they choke in the playoffs, and it's not always their fault. It's not always their fault. Not always their fault, but sometimes it is, and I just feel like they're gonna choke this. I think that the Rams are gonna be really good defensively this game because a few picks this game and maybe a fumble or two. Because like Jalen was saying with his bracket, Alvin Kamara is probably not going to be playing this game, so that's going to be really tough for them because that's one of Drew Brees' favorite targets and one of the Saints' best playmakers. So that is really going to hurt them. So I think primarily the Rams are going to win that game. And then in the conference championship, I got the Packers and the Rams. This game's going to be really really good, and I think people are going to really underestimate the Rams this game. And I think that the Rams are going to pull the upset. I'm going with the underdog because I think people are going to really underrate them, and I think that they're going to think that they're going to get blown out, and I just don't see it happening. I just think the Packers don't come prepared, and I just say that the Rams take it. I just simply say that the Packers just thought it was going to be an easier game than they thought, and they just didn't come prepared, and that's why I think that the Rams won that game. And then I got the Chiefs and the Rams in the Super Bowl. This low key would be one of the best Super Bowls I think that we could possibly see. Um, Instead of just like the Chiefs and the Packers, that would be dope too. But Chiefs and the Rams, dude, can't get better than that. Both teams. Well, and I want to say this about the Chiefs. They're starting to go downhill, I think. Like in the last 7 games, not including today, all their games have been decided by one score. And that's really enticing just to see because some of the teams that they're playing aren't even that good, like KT was saying. And it's really gonna matter what they do in the Super Bowl and in these in these playoffs. So you just really gotta they really gotta buckle in and they really gotta be coming prepared. I feel like I think the Chiefs should more they should use Clyde Edwards-Helaire more. You don't see him much anymore. In the start of the season you did, but they don't use him as much anymore. And he is hurt. Yep, I remember that. But they gotta find a way to get their run game going. So they gotta find somebody who can be good. I think hopefully one of their running backs is back. Either Le'Veon Bell is gonna be back hopefully. Um, but yeah, man, they just got to get their run game going because the Rams can shut down that passing game. I think lock down Tyreek Hill and Kelsey and Sammy Watkins. Maybe I think that they can do it. So ultimately, this is gonna be a really big shocker, but I got the Rams, man. I got the Rams winning it all in the Super Bowl. This would be the first time. I don't remember the last time they won the Super Bowl, but it's I think it's been over like 3 or 4 decades. So that'll be really good for the Rams. Why the Rams won that game is because they are able to stop the pass game and that they're able to get their offense going in rushing and passing. I just think that Rams are just a really slept on team this year, and that they're going to show up in the playoffs and prove everybody wrong this year. And that's my bracket. Thank you.
Now that y'all finally got a position in seedings from my other three guys, get to my bracket, and I'm just gonna keep it short, straight to the point, and based on what my eye test is telling me over the course of this 2020-2021 NFL season. Um, let's start off on the NFC because the AFC, I'm going to break some hearts. Um, NFC, Packers number one seed. They got a bye, so congratulations to them. And Rodgers, you keep rolling on. And the Green Bay Packers are basically going to be the reason why teams are. um, it's going to be the reason why teams don't make it to the Super Bowl in the NFC. Playing in Lambeau in that weather is brutal, and only Green Bay. Last time we had a game where we thought a contender could come into Green Bay in the snow, the Tennessee Titans. That didn't really work out too well for them. Devontae Adams was doing snow angels, and congratulations to Green Bay Packers for clinching the number one seed. Now we get into the nitty gritty. NFC East doesn't matter whether it's the Washington football team or if it's the New York Giants. We still have to wait on results for that game. I think that they will lose to the Bucks. Now I get it. The Bucks almost stumbled today against my Falcons. They put it on them, poured on the gas late into the fourth quarter. But it's discouraging to see them give up that many points in their defense. But this year, they have a tendency to do so, um, especially the lower ranked teams. Now they closed out the deal, and their offense seems to be humming. But I think it's their offense that is what's going to put them over the top against the Giants and or the Washington football team when they play them in the first round. Then we get into the next game, Seahawks and Rams. This game is NFC West rivals going up against each other. I think the news about Jared Goff and his uncertainty in the future has kind of changed my Super Bowl pick, and it's also changed my pick for the how far I see the Rams going. Unfortunately for LA fans, you won't be adding another Super Bowl or another trophy to the City of Angels, and it really doesn't have anything to do with quarterback play. I just think that the Seahawks this time around they will be prepared, and we talk all the day about their defense, but even for them having a bottom tier defense, they still ended up winning 12 games. So that says a lot about their offense. Offense is what will reign supreme in this game. Give me Seahawks. Then I go to the Saints and the Bears, and this one is kind of simple. Coach Payton, Sean Payton of the Aints, but I have to be respectful and call him the Saints. He will outcoach Matt Nagy, aka Aggie Nagy, not Swaggy Nagy, Aggie Nagy. He will outcoach him if David Montgomery was lost earlier in the game in Week 17, It looked really doubtful. I thought he had a knee injury. I was kind of like, dang, my guy's hurt. But unfortunately, he came back and played. I still think that Matt Nagy cannot coach with the best of them yet, and them bringing him back next year is just only going to give them more reasons to fire him in the future. Saints win in New Orleans because they outcoached Matt Nagy and the Bears. Now we go to the next round. That would make it the Seahawks taking on the Saints, and we got the 3 seed Seahawks going to New Orleans. Give me the Seahawks in that game. The one thing about the defense of the Seahawks is that they are better against the run than they are against the pass. How they played today against the 49ers in Week 17 to close out the year, I understand that was a little frustrating for my Seahawks fans going into the game and in leading up to the game and during the game. Very stressful, especially with the status of the running backs, and they didn't know what to really go and expect with Russell Wilson and how he was going to play after he's been sacked and mauled a lot this year and still has them at a 12-4 record. This team is Russell Wilson, and I don't see Russell Wilson getting outdueled by Drew Brees, even if it's in New Orleans. The thing that is going to be the decision and deciding factor in this game is going to be quarterback play. At this point in time, I think Russell Wilson is playing slightly better than Drew Brees, and I think that he is Seattle's offense right now. Offense prevails. Give me the Seahawks. Then we get into the next game: Packers Bucks. Battle of goats again, part two. This time they'll be playing in Lambeau, and I think that's going to be the deciding factor. I know Tampa Bay, but Tampa and Tom Brady. Brady is used to playing in the cold. He played at Gillette for 20 plus years, 20 years. So it's nothing that phases him, right? But I think that when he's dealing with a team that hasn't been there in the spotlight before, and you haven't really been to those deep depths, you're gonna win. You're gonna wish that you had Bill Belichick again, because I think Bruce Arians is not gonna be able to out scheme and out coach Matt Lafleur, and we have to give him credit. Back-to-back years where the Packers have been dominant since Matt Lafleur has been here. Nobody on the Bucks defense can cover Devontae Adams, and I think that the position players the the Packers are a lot to handle for the Bucks. Now, if Matt Ryan had himself a pretty good day, a lot of quarterbacks had themselves pretty good days against the Bucks. It comes down to you stopping your defense, stopping Tom Brady. I think the Packers defense, if they have any hole, is probably their run game. But uh, I don't see that being the case this time around, and I see the Packers winning that game in Lambeau. So we get to the conference championship, which is going to come down to the Packers and Seahawks. And again, the Seahawks are going to have to travel to Lambeau, and it's going to be a tough game. Again, nobody can cover Devontae Adams, and I understand that Pete Carroll will be taking on Matt LaFleur. But in this game, I just think that the defensive line for the Packers will show up. I think that the defense as a whole will step up, and they will limit Russell Wilson in a cold weather game. Temperature probably be in the negatives, wind chill, negative wind chill, and it'll be a brutal, grinded out run game. And give me the Packers in that one. So I got the Packers going to the Super Bowl for the NFC. Now I'm about to break some people's hearts. Kansas City, I understand y'all got the number 1 seed. That's cool. We'll see how y'all rest up and y'all come back. But start from the bottom all the way up to the top. I got the Bills and the Colts. I just look at this as a matchup game. We got Frank Reich, has his team playing out of his mind. They won. They won the. They was in prime position to win the division, but Tennessee ended up closing the deal, and now they're not. So now they finish as a wild card. Congratulations to them. But what worries me in this matchup is Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers going up against his defense does not seem good at all. And in fact, I feel like I've seen this movie a couple of different times. I think that Phillip Rivers chokes and doesn't get the job done. And if they have to depend on that run game to get the job done, it's not going to be enough. They're going to have to pass. We saw what happened to Tua today. Same thing could happen to Fitz this week. Give me Bills over the Colts. Steelers Browns. They just played this week. They played twice already in the season. It's just a super familiar matchup. At the end of the day, you're gonna have to win based on coaching in this game. I like Mike Tomlin as a coach more than I like Kevin Stefanski. I like Matt. I know Baker is up and coming, and there's a lot of arguments that Ben Roethlisberger is the worst quarterback in the AFC North. Well, he gets at least one playoff win. He beats the Browns, and I understand. Congratulations to the Cleveland Browns and their fans for making the playoffs and snapping the drought of a long time, a very, very long time. But that only lasts for 1 week. Sorry, Browns fans. You're not going to win that game. I got the Steelers advancing. Then Titans Ravens. This game is just matchups. If the Titans struggle with anything, it's when defenses clamp up with their wide receivers, lock focusing on their receivers, and make Derrick Henry stopping him the focal point. If any team that can do that, I think in the AFC picture right now, it's probably the Ravens, in my personal opinion. We already seen the Colts against them. We've already seen. I don't trust the Browns defense. The Steelers defense is missing too many pieces. Give me the Ravens up for the challenge to stopping them and getting revenge against the Tennessee Titans, who brutally kicked them out the playoffs and bounced them. So that would be a very, very close game, and I do not see Lamar losing in the first round. Then we get to the next round. We got Bills Steelers, a rematch of a Sunday night game that we got week 14. If you watched that week 14 game, you saw that Stephon Diggs ate, and he ate all game. Nothing changes. The Steelers don't have anybody that can cover him, and I understand they got some studs back there, Minka Fitzpatrick, most notably. But unless you're about to put Minka Fitzpatrick on double coverage against Stephon Diggs all day, I don't really see that happening. And then you got guys like Isaiah McKenzie, who had 3 touchdowns today, John Brown, who's coming back and he looks healthy, Cole Beasley coming back that looks healthy, and Josh Allen, who's just slinging it around the park like he's having like his field day in elementary school. Like, give me, I got the Bills beating the Steelers in a high scoring game. Then we got Chiefs versus Ravens. Again, it comes to matchups. The Ravens rushed for over 350 yards today. If there's anything that I feel like the Chiefs could be exploited in, it's probably their rushing defense. And I think that we saw that they played earlier in the year on a Monday night game, and all eyes were on that game. And the Lamar Jackson was kind of the X factor. He didn't get anything going. But Lamar has been hot over the last 5, 6 weeks ever since he came back from the COVID-19 list, and I think that his hot streak continues against the Chiefs at Arrowhead, and they're probably going to have some fans there. So it'll be nice to see Lamar get another victory against Patrick Mahomes, and I think it'll be a great game, the best game in the playoffs, that Chiefs versus Ravens game. Give me the Ravens advancing. Then I got the Ravens versus the Bills in the conference championship, and it's just kind of simple as this: if you're a Buffalo Bills fan and you had to take a poll and say which team are you not do not want to play coming into the playoffs, it's definitely the Ravens, and they are thanking they're thanking the heavenly stars that they missed the Ravens and didn't have to play them in the first round because things would be very, very interesting. Luckily, they play in the conference championship, and I think this game comes down to want to. And if I had to give a team that wants to, I think it's both. If it's going to come down to more coaching, it's evenly matched. McDermott versus Harbaugh. We got a running game. Dang, it's going to come down to running game. The Bills do not have a running game. That's been their Achilles heel all year. The Ravens, they have a running game. And in the playoffs, what do you want? Defense and a running game. I think the Ravens make one more stop than the Bills in a shootout, and I think that the Ravens advance to the Super Bowl to take on the Green Bay Packers. You get the young buck versus the old vet, Mr. A. Rod. Just got double check himself. Mr. Championship Belt Celebration versus one of the fastest people. Also, a quarterback who just ran for 1,000 yards in back-to-back season, the first time that that's happened in NFL history. When you look at the fact that the Ravens are breaking records, and you look at the fact that the Green Bay Packers have one glaring weakness. Packers' weakness If you watch their games all year, it's not their offense, it's not their back end, it's not their secondary for real. It's their rushing defense, and you going up against a team that runs the ball for fun, and they run the ball, like at the highest clip in the league right now. It's not even close. I think that smells trouble, and I also think that smells trouble for Green Bay, because running means clock is going tick 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 tick. Time of possession is going to be very very important. Time of possession and turnover is going to be important in the Super Bowl game, and I think that the Super Bowl, if you can get Tom Brady losing to Aaron Rodgers and then Aaron Rodgers playing on Tom Brady's home field in the Super Bowl, that just smells drama, and I love it. Give me the Ravens winning the Super Bowl this year, the COVID Super Bowl, and taking and solidifying their mark as the kings of the NFL for this season. For Moon Vibes, this is my bracketology, and hopefully it makes sense after we get done with this.
Alrighty, everybody put in their bracketology picks. Um, Jalen, I feel like you should be on the hot seat. And we're gonna go down the list as if they appeared, except for we're gonna skip you, and the rest of us will critique your pick. My pick was Bucks Bills, likes dislikes.
My likes and dislikes.
Mm-hmm.
By what you mean with each team, or
Or just that Super Bowl matchup.
Bucks, Bills. I just don't think the Bucks will get it just because they don't run the ball enough. Also, if that is Super Bowl matchup, my likes is that it's gonna be a high scoring game. My dislike is that it could be a blowout because I don't think the Bucks offense is going to score as much to keep their defense rested.
I guess the one thing about this matchup, I didn't even consider it would be a home game for the Bucks. Now how many people they're going to have in the stadium and how many for each team will be represented will be interesting. So we're going to skip you. We're going to go to Brad. Brad got Chiefs, Browns. What are your likes, dislikes about that Super Bowl pick?
Are you still asking me about what my
Yeah.
likes and dislikes are?
Yeah,
Chiefs. Wait, you said what's the Super Bowl?
it was
Chiefs,
the Chiefs Rams.
Oh, Chiefs Rams. Um, my likes is that I believe it's I believe it's two opposite offenses. If you ask me, now you might be like, "Oh, how?" I just think that the Rams use their running game more effectively than the Chiefs. Also, what I like about this, what I like about that Super Bowl is that I think defense will be played. Also, I get to see Jalen Ramsey ball out and talk stuff in the Super Bowl. Uh, I love watching Jalen Ramsey talk stuff. Uh, I guess some of my dislikes will be that it could be just like that Monday night game
Hmm.
a couple years back. You remember that game, don't you, KT?
Oh yeah, high scoring affair. Beautiful.
Yeah, the score was like 220, 240. It seemed like that game.
Right.
But I would say that it would just be like no defense play. It could be like that Monday night game a couple years ago, and that maybe Jared Goff can just stink it up sometimes. That's also one of my dislikes.
Alrighty, and lastly, I think Brad had the boldest pick out of us all as far as the Super Bowl matchup. Moon, he has the consistent pick. He's been saying Ravens even when the Ravens didn't look like they even had a chance to make the playoffs. He stuck. He's rolled the course with the Ravens, so he got Ravens Packers Super Bowl likes dislikes about the Super Bowl about that pick.
Ravens, Packers. It could be a slow-paced game because the Ravens could just run the ball a lot. Like imagine watching a Georgia Tech game versus Navy game. It's slow-paced, not a lot of scoring, a lot of running the ball, a lot and it's gonna be a lot of controlling the clock. Uh, that would be one of my dislikes because that'd be like, man, I'm just ready to fall asleep at halftime. woman likes it that it could be fun. Lamar Jackson might be electrifying in the Super Bowl. Aaron Rodgers can also one of my likes is that Aaron Rodgers can finally shut up some of his Chicago Bears haters that say he chokes all the time. I don't agree with it. So that's just some of my likes and dislikes.
Alrighty, so we're gonna critique your pick. Your pick was, if I'm not mistaken, Bills Packers.
Yeah.
You got the Packers winning it all.
Yeah.
I think at one point you had the Rams winning it all, but that was before kind of the downslope that
Jared
they've been
Goff.
on and the Jared Goff injury. So Bills Packers, I think that's a sexy Super Bowl pick. Moon, we're gonna go to you. How do you feel about that pick?
Bills Packers Super Bowl is it's not really sexy unless you're somebody from those franchises that is used. I mean that like both of those teams haven't been to the game for a while. The
Mhm.
Bills just happens to be longer. The Bills haven't gotten over the hump. The My likes and dislikes kind of the first things that come to my mind. I'll go dislikes first. My dislike is that I think that the narrative in the media over that week is just be like Josh Allen, Josh Allen, Josh Allen, but it's just like, why do y'all want to hop on the Bills bandwagon now when they've been playing good all year? And why are y'all so now shocked with Josh Allen when we kind of could have, if you watched him and you watched him play, you kind of could project that he was going to take this next leap, especially since he progressed every single year that he's
Yes.
been in the NFL. Him breaking Drew Bledsoe's record is something that's going to be talked about. You got the old head versus the young head, the new kid on the block versus the old vet. This is who's AKA the bad man. That's going to be a narrative. There really wouldn't be much as far as media. I wouldn't really be caring about some of the players or some of the teams. I wouldn't really be interested in the media days or anything like that. And I'm talking about more so for the Packers side than the Bills. But the likes for it is that we would get a chance for Stephon Diggs to finally get his recognition and his flowers in the national media, bro. We finally get a chance for him to be in that top wide receiver discussion, especially since his numbers, stats, and all that good stuff. You watch him in the eye test, it just screams it. Then you have Aaron Rodgers, who is my MVP right now. Him furthering in that MVP discussion. Aaron Rodgers possibly winning another Super Bowl is, well, it's kind of fire. I think when you look at the marriage between the head coach, then you have the quarterback. Matt LaFleur and Aaron Rodgers has been pretty dang consistent already, and I could hot take. I don't even really know how hot it is though. Matt LaFleur will be better for Aaron Rodgers than Mike McCarthy ever was.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's going to be said if they do happen to go to the Super Bowl. But that's my takes. I would love my also a like that's underrated is you would get the comparison between Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs. Who's that matchup going to go to? Higher scoring game.
Great insight, Brad. What are your likes and dislikes about Jalen's pick?
Honestly, I don't have any dislikes about it, to be honest. I'd like to actually see that matchup. The one thing that maybe I could say, nah, never mind. But my likes for this though is I feel like the team that gets the run game going the first, or like, I feel like the Packers are gonna have the edge ultimately in that game though, because they have a better run game. And they still have a really decent pass game too, so I would say they have the edge in that. But I would love to see that. I would love to see that. That's all I have to say. I would just love to see that.
I think this matchup is sexy because one, Aaron Rodgers, if he's able to win the Super Bowls and crush the hearts of all Bills fans again for the 5th time, go talk with discuss. Y'all know how we as media do prisoners of the moment. Oh, is Aaron Rodgers the GOAT? Because here's going to be the argument, and I see Jalen shaking his head, and I got to come to Jalen after I finish what I got to say. And I'll even stop in the middle of what I gotta say. The GOAT talk is gonna happen because of this, Jalen. If you remember earlier on when the Patriots won those Super Bowls, it wasn't Brady, bro. It was Belichick in that defense. I'll let you go ahead and rebuttal before I finish what I gotta say.
Like with the Patriots and that defense and
Nah,
everything?
just
It's
the
true.
GOAT talk. The GOAT talk. I seen you shaking your head about the GOAT talk. Yeah.
I don't think he should be in the GOAT talk. Top 10, yes.
Why shouldn't he be in the GOAT talk if LeBron could be in the Jordan GOAT talk?
LeBron's better than Jordan, first of all.
Okay.
Hey, take this for after the film.
So why can't A-Rod be in the GOAT talk?
Because like when you look at the stats, they're not even comparable. And look at the accomplishments, they're not comparable. Like when you look at like Tom Brady, because I think Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Look at his stats and his accomplishments, they're not comparable to Aaron Rodgers. He beats him by a mile. Now certainly, some of Aaron Rodgers' GOAT status hurts him because he was riding the bench for about 3 years.
He had Brett Favre in front of him. What you mean, bro?
Made me take off my glasses. That's when you know you do something.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, I'm saying like that hurts him because his stats aren't as good. Also, we can say I'm saying he should be in the GOAT talk for all time, but GOAT talk for the Packers quarterbacks, yes.
Wow. GOAT talk for the Packers talk alone is even difficult with Bart Starr and Brett Favre. But their stats are a lot closer than you think. Tom Brady, we're not going to even discuss the yards. He got 190. I'm sorry, he got 581 touchdowns to 191 interceptions. Your boy A-Rod has 412 touchdowns to 89 interceptions. But the quarterback rating is really where A-Rod is better than Tom Brady. But I agree with you. I agree with you, though. Brady is the GOAT.
Can we go to accomplishments?
What are some of the accomplishments? Because now you're about to enter a discussion you don't want to enter in. Because if you're basing it off of accomplishments with those same accomplishments, you know where I'm about to go with this.
I'm trying to base it off of both.
Okay.
Like I don't ever just base anything off just stats or just accomplishments.
Okay.
I try to base it off of both.
Okay. So I guess what I'm trying to figure out is if media's talking about if Aaron Rodgers was able to win the Super Bowl and that GOAT talk started, you don't think it's close?
No. I mean, at least with Aaron Rodgers at second, no.
Moon rebuttal, man.
I don't got the words right now. just pass on me, bro. 89 interceptions in your entire career, bro.
Yeah, not even.
Tom Brady don't even know what that smell like.
Yeah.
His defense is. Tom Brady has always had a top 10, top 5, I could say, scoring defense.
Yeah.
I mean,
Give Aaron Rodgers a top 10 scoring defense any year that he had, bro. In the last, I don't know how much you can look since he's been there. Give him, in fact, beyond Devontae Adams, what Tom Brady had. Give him a Gronk, for example. Matter of fact, he might have his new Gronk with Robert Tonyan, and in Green Bay. Now he has Devontae, but besides that, I really feel like his coaching and Matt LaFleur has helped these other pieces around him shine. The Marquez Valdez-Skeletons of the world, the Alan Lazards of the world, the Aaron Joneses and the Jamal Williams of the world. They have helped. Sternberger, they got some pieces on their roster that is underrated. But I just look at it like this: Aaron Rodgers, the best thrower of the football that I've seen, and I don't care about stats, accomplishments. It's quarterback position. Me watching him play today against the Bears was timeless because I'm like, bro, in a league where we got quarterbacks throwing interceptions left and right, you can't throw a defense at him that he has not seen, and he always seems to make the right play. He finished the game with what 4 touchdowns and no picks, and
in
I'm
regular
looking at
season.
his, and I'm looking at like I mean the scheme though. It's like that they that play action. They basically ran play action better than the Bears, and that's what they thrive on right now. Like they basically outplayed the Bears at their own game. And I just look at it like he's the best thrower of a football that I've seen. And I know it's a lot of quarterbacks that have like that little flick, but I call Mr. Aaron Rodgers, aka Mr. Flick of the wrist, because he just don't flick it.
Mm.
Now the next person that can rival that probably Mahomes, probably Josh Allen could. I'm not talking about really throw power, but I'm talking about like effortlessness.
As far as
Effortlessness as a quarterback, and I'm not talking about just flicking, but thinking. Uh, it's bad when we talk about the game against Tampa Bay as his only season low light, because outside of that, it's been damn near magical all year.
so counter argument, Jalen. Then I'm gonna finish my point about possible your pick Bills Packers Super Bowl.
So sum up what you just said, Moon, because you were saying a lot. I kind of forgot the first part of the conversation.
The basically the moral of it is Aaron Rodgers best quarterback that I've seen, aka Mr. Flick of the wrist.
I mean, I can't change that opinion. I just don't think he is. And you look at the accomplishment and stats. Yeah, Tom Brady's had more help, but that's not Tom Brady's fault.
Alrighty, so I'm gonna get back to my point of this would be a sexy Super Bowl. Alrighty, so you got the obvious thing: Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen. Then it gets even deeper. Then you got Devontae Adams versus Tre'Davious White, arguably a top 10, top 7 cornerback. Then you will have Stephon Diggs versus Jair Alexander, arguably a top 7, top 10 quarterback. So I feel like the media would be crazy about it. If Aaron Rodgers is able to win, we'll be crazy about it. My only dislikes about this Super Bowl is that I think it could be a rout. And I think it would be a rout in a way in which Rodgers is always on. We've seen games this year that Josh Allen wasn't on. One of those games was the Cardinals game. Yes, you look at the end of the line. I think he had like 3 touchdowns, but those 2 interceptions were terrible. You don't want to be throwing interceptions and giving Aaron Rodgers the ball. So I feel like as sexy as the Super Bowl could be as far as the media hype and the build up to it, we know Aaron Rodgers is going to be on. It's if Josh Allen isn't on, this game could be a rout and it could be a bad game. So did y'all want to add anything else? Want to discuss anything else further about these
I'll
here
say
playoffs?
the Bills. I got 2 things. The Bills. I texted KT earlier today and I said that the Bills are gonna make it to the Super Bowl, and I'm like, this is before I seen the Ravens put up 350 plus yards rushing, and Marcus Peters coming back looking like he's in his groove again. Also, highlight Josh Norman, bro. You made up for your penalty in the end zone today, my guy, with that pick. It was a nasty one too. Appreciate you. But the best corner in the league right now is playing for the Miami Dolphins. Second best corner in the league right now is playing for the New England Patriots. You can put Tre'Davious up there. You could also put the guy from Jair Alexander, my bad, or even Kevin King if you want to, up there in that top 10. But the difference in the X factor is that the safety position. Poyer and what's the other one, KT?
Micah Hyde, one of the best tandems in the league.
Poyer and Hyde. That is what would cause Aaron Rodgers fits, especially since he likes to take shots downfield and stuff like that. So, I think that's one thing. But the second thing I was gonna say is that we talk about the playoffs and the teams that's not outside the playoffs, that's on outside looking in, that can't get in the club. Hey, Atlanta Falcons. I know y'all couldn't take out Tom Brady in the last game, but y'all did. Y'all did knock off the Raiders, and when y'all beat them in that week, a couple of weeks ago, y'all snatched that playoffs right from underneath them, because that was the beginning of the end. So, congratulations to my Falcons.
Alrighty, so I guess I'm about to pass it off to Jalen. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Please make sure you put your picks down. If you hated our takes, let us know you hated our takes. If you loved our takes, let us know you loved our takes. We will put a link for our Discord. Join our Discord. I will upload a blank bracket if you all would like to print that out. I think there is actually a sign-in app which you can fill it out and then put it right back in there. So we can compare brackets and things of that nature. Jalen, you go ahead and send us home. Hold on. I think Brad wanted to say something. You good, bro?
No, I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm good. I was just saying that Jalen.
What?
Yeah, I don't see how Tom Brady's better than Aaron Rodgers. I had to do that for one time.
I mean, capability-wise, he's not, but stat-wise, accomplishment-wise, he is. There's no competition.
I can't see them.
More vibes. Go ahead. I like where this conversation is going, man.
I'm gonna say something totally different. Just notice in these first round matchups, I think that the first round matchups is gonna come down to coaching. The second round matchup is gonna come down to talent beating talent overwhelming. I think that the conference championships and or Super Bowl is going to come down to superstars. And when we look at the thing of that, the team that I have going to the Super Bowl is the Baltimore Ravens, and the other team, and I think Lamar Jackson is a superstar. I think that the other team that I have going into the Super Bowl is the Packers, and Aaron Rodgers is a superstar. So is Devontae Adams. So it's just like, when you look at it, I'm like, okay, it'll be enough. But one thing I wanted to mention before we get into this, y'all remember a couple of weeks back at the beginning of a game at 1 o'clock in Tennessee, where I think it was in Tennessee or in Baltimore, where the Titans came out onto the field and they was talking trash, and John Harbaugh and your boy from Tennessee, they got into it at the midfield.
Yeah.
It was like, go coach, go coach, go coach. They play each other in the first round. You remember the same team that Mason Rudolph got smacked in the helmet with, like by Myles Garrett? They play again this week, bro. Like, you remember the Bills in the Colts game? They play this week, bro. You got the Giants or possibly the Washington football team going against the Bucks. Interesting game. Seahawks Rams, they play each other. Saints Bears, I still remember them calling Tariq Cohen short when they was trying to call him shorts in that game. And so it's like, when you look at all these games, they have flashback memories, and it makes me think, like, could this be one of the best playoffs that we've gotten in the league and in recent memory? And I guess another reason why I give the NFL a 8.5, they expanded the playoffs to 7 teams. That alone in itself is a flex.
Salute. That's a W. Closing statements, Brad, Jalen.
No. You still want me to take y'all home? Or...
Yeah. Take us home, bro.
Nah, I'm gonna go home myself. Had enough drink.
So this season by the NFL, I would say had been a success when it comes to playing game wise. Shout out to every franchise that played this season, knowing about everything that was happening outside of football. KT, you want to add on to that statement?
No, I agree, man. This season has been spectacular, and we get into the, it's 2 seasons. You got the regular season and the playoffs. One thing I would like to add, man, it has been an absolute pleasure calling games with y'all this year. Pre-production, a lot of people don't know the type of work that goes into these pre-productions. Jalen coming up with rundowns, Moon Vibes doing his thing with Fantasy Vibes. Days go into our productions, and you should be able to see that on Sundays. This will be a YouTube upload, but most of our work this year was live on Twitch. where technology wasn't always fair, but you all were professionals. Salute to y'all. 2021 is our year.
It is, bro. It is. Hey, you want to know who is 2021 is not their year?
Who?
These nuts.
Hey, you wanna take us home, Jalen? You wanna take us home, Jalen?
Well,
Matter of fact, you know who else is going home?
Who?
The Cleveland Browns.
Ooh.
Oh, you almost had it. You gotta be quicker than that. Hey, shout out to Cleveland, bro.
Oh man, Ohio, man. Hey, Bron about to be on Moonhead like he was with Dabo Swinney, man. Oh
Hey,
man.
Brian. Oh, you almost said it.
Bruh.
Oh man. So
Final closing words. Shout out to the NFL for having a successful season, regular season. Postseason has yet to come. Shout out to R1P for having a successful I don't know what to call it. Regular season too, I guess.
mhm.
When it comes to NFL. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, tell us what y'all think about our picks. And I guess we'll catch y'all next time on the YouTube. We out.
If you think that you stopping us this year, you're not, man. Some people already tried to do it. It ain't happening, man.
Oh,
And to them,
go ahead, Brad.
I said, fuck you, man. You ain't doing shit to us, man.
Hashtag free R1P.